happens to be my area, so I can help in that area.
Okay,
But
maybe
it's
that's
like,
the answer
I
then,
don't know
Mom.
what you need.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't really have any specs. If you send me a JPEG, it goes in. That's how I do it. And maybe, like I said, maybe that's not the right thing, so we could talk about that.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure that what you guys give me, you're getting business. Man, we doing all this for you, and then people it was stretched too much. So I definitely need help with that. Yes.
I had a question.
Yes.
I might have missed it earlier. For the African Street Festival,
Yes.
are you selling vendor space?
The spaces are, we just missed the early bird because we turned our money in. So now the spaces are $700. So if you want to do it, whether that's food or just crafts, it's the same price because since we buy in volume, they give us a flat rate for anything that we want to do. So if you want to have a booth, I think you should. Did you get an application at the?
I put my pamphlet down. I don't think I picked
Okay.
it back up.
You can get and have 3 other people work the booth with you if it makes it more affordable. And then let me know, and then we'll get the funds in for you.
Okay.
Okay. So far we have 14 spots. I think 15. Okay. So yes, ma'am. I take that. You gotta get me in shape. Upcoming events. Let me know what you guys want to do. We're already in the African Street Festival already. African International Arts Festival. Dance Africa, we don't really do that one anymore, but there's some free spots people find. It's since they've done all the building in Brooklyn over there. The little parking lots we used to vend in now have buildings on them. So they have all the vendors in the street now with the people. We used to be in the parking lot and the people were on the street, but now we're on the street with the people. So it's not conducive to do reflexology or energy work. It's just everybody's walking like this when you go to Dance Africa like this down the street. It's too much. But I heard that there's some free spots. I was looking into them, but they're not calling me back.
Could I add mine to the list? Or do I have
Email
be
it
a
to
member?
me or
Okay.
something, and then that'll be good to add that in there.
Okay.
Okay, and then of course we have Harlem Seniors Day. This one is a freebie. They list us as a sponsor, so me and Walter go and we offer reflexology and chair massage for free to the seniors. So if that's something you want to do, so especially if you're just graduating out of reflexology class and you want to just come and get some field work experience, that's the event to be at. The Harlem Seniors Senior Day, and that's July 3rd. And we do that, me and Walter do that every year, but they always mad because we only bring one reflexologist, which is me. But everybody can't afford to do it for free, you know what I'm saying?
Do you have a tip jar?
The seniors are funny. They be sticking it in my thing, putting it behind my back, sticking it in my oil. So they usually will give you something. Okay, then of course we got the African Street Festival, which is the African International Arts Festival. So that's coming up. In light of that, she would like some of us practitioners to attend the orientation that they do for the African Street Festival. Because a lot of the questions that are coming from the people who are going to be there for the first time, it'd be great for it to come from veterans like us. You know, like we know about the generators and we know about the fire extinguishers and stuff like that, stuff that they may forget. So she said if you guys can come, that'll really help the meeting. But she got to tell us what day that is. Then we do the Great Day in Harlem, which that's part of Harlem Week. And that's going to be Sunday, July 26th. I think it's from like 12 to 6 or something. That's going to be at Grant's Tomb. And then we got the Black Veg Fest. I spoke to Brother Owali. I'll mess his name up all the time. So he said, I told him we want to probably purchase as a group through that as well. So he's going to get back to me and let me know what the group rate is.
Oh, for Grant's Tomb?
No, for the Black Veg
Oh,
Fest
the
in
Black
Brooklyn.
Veg Fest.
Because we did the one in the Bronx, but we didn't do the one in Brooklyn. Only I think Noble Touch did the one in Brooklyn last year. Then we have the Harlem Week event, which that's going to be two days, August 23rd, 2nd and 3rd. And that's gonna be in 135th Street, 8th, from 8th Avenue to St. Nicholas. And so they block off the traffic to the buses and stuff like that, and
One block.
no, it's all the way from,
That's one block.
I'm sorry, I meant to say all the way from, where's the Schaumburg?
Lennox.
Lennox, from
Lennox,
Lennox
yeah.
It's
Avenue.
from,
Okay.
okay, Schaumburg all the way down to St. Nick. Sorry about that, I should have just put that there. And then this is the newest one that me and Walter and Moonshot and a couple of other of us have been doing, Yonkers River Fest.
That's not new.
No, I'm saying it's new in terms of we've only been doing it for like 2 years, whereas Street Fest, we've been doing that for like 13.
Oh,
So that's one of the newer ones, so anybody interested, I think.
it's really great too.
I think that one is like maybe $153 to then. And you can like share that with 3 people if you want to really make it affordable, you can. Then of course we have the Lots Conference, but that's in Philly. I think that's 1 day. I thought it used to be 2 days, but I think it's 1 day now. And that's at the charter school. And anybody want to do the New Life Expo? Because I know it's expensive. It's like
Anybody did the New Life Expo here before?
we did it
Yes,
once in
yes.
2009.
Yes.
And so how was it? I heard it's like really crowded in terms of booth space
Yeah,
and
it's 6
manageability.
6 by 8 is real small because it's indoors at a.
Yep.
So it was nice. It was really nice, but
It was
we
well
didn't
attended, but it-
make our money back. Yeah, it was well
Okay.
attended. Because the booth space was like what 1,500 or something.
For 2 days.
No, I think it's 3 days. I think it's Friday,
Oh.
Saturday, and Sunday, and you set up the Thursday.
Mm.
So if my budget allowed, maybe because what happened when we did it, it was so expensive for us back then. 1,500 was like $1 million to us. It was like 1,000 of us just,
Right.
you know, we chipped in and we got the space, 2 spaces. That was a lot of money back then. So anyone, just so you want to know our upcoming events, plus you have to add mommies. If you guys know of any others, just let me know. That we're missing because we want to do more stuff. I would love to do the Essence Film Festival someday, but it's the same time as Street Festival, so we need an away team to go do that one. Okay, so this I'm gonna just go over some, if you're interested in doing a festival, or you're thinking about it, or you're definitely doing it, just like a checklist of stuff you need to pack. You know, certain things you have to pack if you're going to do a trade show or craft show. Okay, I'm just gonna go over some stuff here. And this is not all complete, I'm sure I'm missing something. Reliable volunteers. If you're gonna need electricity, you're gonna have little TVs running, or you need laptops, you're gonna need a generator.
I make a suggestion what I use. I use my car battery. My
Okay,
car, because it has the AC/DC outlet, it has the USB thing, it has everything. And I just
Okay.
take that in the car and put it in my booth.
okay, so that's another example right there.
Yeah.
Is that like a jack kind of thing, to jack your car, that's what you use?
No, it's the battery. In case your battery dies, you energize your battery again.
Okay, yeah,
That's
that's what I'm
Backup
talking,
power,
yeah, like a
backup
jack.
power.
Yes,
The backup
Battery
power.
boosters?
yes.
Yeah.
The one that goes like Costco's, that little block, that little box?
I don't know about that. I just bought this big kind of battery.
Oh, that one, I know what
Okay.
you're talking about.
So it's important, I guess the most important thing that I'll say here that you need to do with Street Festival, please eat a hearty meal before you come. Please don't try to do no juicing or nothing like that and come out there and work in that heat. Because we know what that do to people. You're
And
gonna-
speaking about batteries, a lot of people don't have these. This
Oh,
is
the
a
mobile
battery
one,
charger, and everywhere you go, people want to know, you have a charger, you have a charger. This is very inexpensive,
Mm-hmm.
and you just put it in your bag, and it charges your battery charges your phone is what I meant to say. Charges your phone in like 5 or 10 minutes. And you could get anywhere from 20 to $100, depending on what you want to spend. But you know, when
Okay,
I
you
travel,
can show it to them so they see what it is.
This
Yeah.
is a
You got
car
one of these?
jumper thing.
Yeah, you could use that too.
yeah,
Plugged in there?
Yeah, you got
that's sort of like the one I got.
USB,
You got
cellular.
everything, AC/DC,
Mm-hmm.
everything on
Use
there.
that instead of
Got a pump,
instead of a generator. you
Yes.
use that.
Yeah, it's a backup.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah, so you could do that. So now we got the generator stuff worked out. With those little generators, you don't need like a fire extinguisher, right? Because I know the generator we have, you have to have a visible, inspected fire extinguisher.
No.
So you don't, okay.
No.
So for our little Panasonic one, the fire department is gonna be walking around, and if they see that you have a generator, but you don't have a fire extinguisher, they give you a fat ticket. So you have to keep it visible. And if you have gasoline, you have to keep it in a black bag. It can't be out open, it has to be in a black contractor bag. Okay, so make sure you eat very good. If you have to eat some grits or some oatmeal with some veggie sausage in it, you have to have a full tank when you go to the street festival, because a lot of times we get hit with so much. We work 9-hour days every day. And sometimes we don't get to stop to eat because the money be coming and the tips be coming, and you just, before you know it, the sun hits you and you pass out. You have a sunstroke. You don't have enough in your tank. So you have to, yeah. Because of our man, he saw me pass out. And for Karan, I think you passed out last year. So, but now we know the secret. Eat.
Stay off the sun.
And eat. Have a full tank of gas too in your belly. So make sure, I have a little trade show checklist that I'll hand out, but you can go online and get one. Make sure you have your practitioners, your food vendors insurance, because the food vendors, they don't share the same insurance that we do. So make sure you have that. Make sure you have your tents with your 4 sides in case we get rain.
Yeah.
Make sure you have your food handler's permit if you're gonna do anything with food. Lanterns, because sometimes, you know, people in your tent trying to shop 11 o'clock at night, because sometimes that happens, and then they can't see what's on your table. So it's good to just have nice lanterns, nice bright lanterns. If you need transportation, U-Haul, and that's what I'm saying, you should have your team, practitioner team that you work with, so y'all can rent a U-Haul as one. If you have massage tables and stuff, y'all can rent a U-Haul and y'all can get your stuff there and back and split the bill. Make sure you have something to charge your phone. Make sure you have nice signage. When people come to your tent, they need to see your prices on all 4 sides, because you know, they may come from the South Elliott side, they may be in the park, they may be coming in front of your booth. It's good to have your prices so that while you're working on somebody, they don't see your prices. They gotta say, miss, I'm working on her feed. How much is, but if you have everything already spotted already, then, how you doing, sweetie? Hi, Alvin, you made it. Have a seat, sweetie. He's from the new Black Panther Party. One of our volunteers. He wants to learn more wellness as well, in addition to what he already has. So, okay, make sure you have good signage. If you need to have a toolbox, but sometimes, you know, stuff breaks, or you need a hammer to get your things in the ground to keep the tent from blowing away. It's good to have that. A step stool is good, for I'm short, so I have to have a little something. Nice banners, you know, so some people can see your banners. Nice product displays if you want to put flooring down to decorate your floor. You want your booth to stand out. You may want to have some nice flooring that you can duct tape down. Also, definitely lots of water, alkaline water, to stay hydrated.
Yes.
And protective crystals. So if you want to know what crystal to wear to keep it from absorbing so many people's energy you're working on, definitely see Zakia. She could tell you, especially the body workers. You know, because I have a pocket of crystals that I bought from Zakia to make sure they don't absorb everybody's stuff.
On that note, for those of you who do energy work, there's an essential oil called juniper. If you put juniper around your wrist, it'll stop energy from coming to you. So when you're working with your hand, you just put juniper around your wrist.
You got it on you?
Very good protective.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so definitely have your crystals. Please have your credit card swipers. Don't ask Shai to swipe for you, okay, Sekou? Make sure you have your Cash App, which you got now, right? Venmo, Zelly, what other little things you need on it? Square. Okay, so make sure you have all your credit cards, because people don't walk around with cash anymore.
No, they don't.
And if they know you take credit card, they will buy all your crystals on your table.
Yeah, they do.
Okay? Make sure your phone has Wi-Fi, please. Some people say, I don't have Wi-Fi on my phone, and I have my computer. I need to show the client something, but I need Wi-Fi. So if you have a Wi-Fi on your phone, just have them activated, even if it's just for the festival, it's worth it. You may want to have fanny packs if you want to just put your money here versus having to go back and forth. Please have clipboards or mailing lists or whatever notations. Maybe you want to have your volunteers walk around with them. Please have heavy-duty extension cords, especially if you need to connect to somebody else's generator. Ramen is way down there, and I'm on the other end, so maybe, you're too far to connect to me and too far to connect to him. So make sure you have, I think a 50-foot
100 feet, they're good.
extra heavy-duty extension cord to go into the generator, so then we don't have to worry about it overloading. And make sure you have a cash box. Please have your receipt book, mailing list, a power strip that you can connect onto the end of the heavy duty, and you can have a lot of people come plug in and charge from you. Everybody in your booth can. Please have lots of business cards, postcards, basic supplies, your stapler, maybe little price little dots to put on your product, scissors, staples, paper clips, maybe I like everybody little badges so the client will know your name, little sticky badges to put on. This is not like telling you what to do. This is just all suggestions. Based on my experience in terms of us doing it, this is just what I came up with. Please dress your table, make it look pretty. Maybe it's Afrocentric or whatever, but just dress your table so that it looks inviting. Ooh, what's over there? She got flowers on it. Just really make your booth look nice, your table. If you need audio visual, because like me, I find what works with me is having Dr. Africa's video playing. And then, they playing something, and then it brings them right in. I'm just saying what works for me. You may not have that, but I'm just saying if you do.
What do you use, a laptop?
No, I have a little, I went on, what do you call it, eBay, and I found one of those combo TVs. It has the DVD and playing stuff in it. Just pop my DVDs in there.
What you call a combo TV? That's
Yeah,
what you call it?
combo.
Combo TV.
Yeah, they're going out of style, so you may want to hurry up and get one.
DVDs are not really
Yeah.
selling anymore, the CDs.
Yeah, because everybody's downloading movies. So for some people, it's good when they can sit there while they're waiting, they get their feet done. If they're watching, Dr. Africa says, yeah, you need to start eating that salting, because sometimes coming from you, it's not enough. But sometimes they come from the DVD and be like, okay, I think I need some of that vitamin C that he was talking about on that. You got that? Okay, so that helps to kind of reinforce what you're telling. Okay, I said the lighting. I have that twice. Waterproof your product bins. So if you're selling books or anything, you need to have them in something that's waterproof, because sometimes we get rain out of nowhere at the festival, and sometimes we'll get a wind. You know what I'm saying? So this is just from experience. Make sure you have very comfortable shoes. Please wear comfortable shoes, and make sure you load those apps on your phone. Some people use Apple Pay. I haven't gotten anyone ask me for that yet. And then there's like a trade show link. You can go online and find little links to different trade shows. Give you a whole laundry list of stuff you should have. And I find I get a lot of my supplies from these places. I like QVC, that's me. I like HSN, I love that too. And I love QVC. I got my reflexology chair from them and my electric generator. So, okay? Yamo, that looks okay? Because I know you got the eye, you see stuff that I miss.
Covered everything.
Okay. What happened to my thing? Where is it? I'm almost done. You rushing me, big girl?
I didn't rush.
Okay.
Shai, you have recommendations for where to get a good tent?
Amazon.
But if you want to go local, I went to Home Depot.
Oh, that's right. Home Depot has some too. Yeah. You go to Easy Up or whatever. Get it. Okay, so I talked about attending the vendor orientation for Street Fest. We don't know the date for that. In April, Sister Ellen wants us to do a walkthrough, because some of us need a tree with us and some of us need a bench. And she gives us that based on the last draw up of the festival last year.
You're going to be where we were, sort of in the same space? Was that had a tree line and bench line?
Well, what happens is,
What the heck?
What had happened is, what I did with it? Sometimes, okay, here's just, just a list of supplies. Sometimes they change the park without telling the street festival.
Change the park?
Yeah, they'll cut the tree down, like the tree's missing,
Oh,
like,
oh,
oh no, I
oh.
told Jeff there was gonna be a tree here, now it's gone.
Oh.
So we're gonna do a walkthrough in April. She's gonna let us know the date to make sure everything is still, they didn't put no more of the benches in or take all the benches out and put trees there, so. Okay, now I tell you about the crystals, the seeds are key about what to wear. Stay hydrated with your comfy sneakers. Please buy strong equipment because you don't want to recline someone in your chair and it collapse. Because our people tend to be hardy. So if it can contain up at least 350, that's a pretty good chair. And please eat a hearty breakfast each day. Okay, so this is when the volunteer meeting that we have set up. So if you know of anyone who's interested in volunteering, that's the day. Where's my booming voice at? Anybody else feel like reading? Because Brahman just...
You want me to read it down? Why
Yeah.
volunteer? Get college or community service credit. Learn the business side of holistic health. Meet lots of new people, 50,000 people. Learn new things. Undertake new challenges. Free wellness services to experience. You get a sense of helping the wellness community. You get a free chapter t-shirt. Earn tips from practitioners. Letters of recommendation for school. And potential for hire with a practitioner or wellness center.
How does that sound, volunteers? Melvin, how does that sound?
Free college, community credit. What else can I go to other than just college credit? What other kind of credit can I go towards? That's it, mostly?
I guess whatever school's asking you for some kind of community
Business
service
side of
credit,
holistic health.
we can write you the letter. That's not a problem. We're gonna work you to death, so you're gonna definitely earn that letter. Okay. So if we need to add something to this, you let me know, Melvin, because it looks like you may know something else we need to add on to it. But in the meantime, we'll go to the next flyer. The next slide. Okay, so here's some of the volunteer tasks that we need volunteers to do. Doesn't that sound like a lot of stuff? Yeah. Customer service and sales. Miss your booming voice.
You want me to read?
So, quick question.
Boom.
A volunteer is more like a greeter, right?
A volunteer is any of them things up there.
Okay.
If you feel like you're a greeter kind of person, you could just be the greeting department. If you wanna, if you wanna do the credit card, digital sales, which is like through the apps, or cash. Maybe you're like a maintenance guy, you wanna just do the generator. We like to find out which you like to do. If you like to do all of this, that's probably not a wise thing. But we do need the volunteers to open and close the tents every day. If a volunteer is a videographer, that's good, Please have all the clients on the mailing list. Like when we're working on people, we can't tell them to do all of this. So we rely on you to keep traffic. Ladies screaming that someone jumped her, you have to go and quench that and say, looking at the schedule, no, you're supposed to be here 15 minutes from now. And maybe you want to take her phone number or whatever and call her when her time is ready. Because it gets crazy, especially if it's a nice day and we're real busy. And I'm only speaking from the reflexology department. Walter and Deanna can speak from the massage therapy in terms of the backup in clients and how anxious people get. And anyway. So anyway, this is some of the tasks that we love volunteers to do.
I would like to offer something.
Yes.
It's very hard for me to do, I'm speaking to sort of generally here, very hard for me to do the street festival because I can't do that every day for 5 days, 4 days in a row. I don't start my booth till 11, 12 o'clock, and I'm out of there by 7. Otherwise, I would die. It's really very strenuous. So I'm offering this to say, you don't have to die. You can adjust your time so that you're comfortable and you can function every day. I'm never there before 11 o'clock, and by the time sun goes down, I'm packing up and I'm going home. Now, some people say, well, you lose money. Well, you can lose money, you can pass out. You can pick a choice. If I do it that way, I can do it every day. I can't be there 9 o'clock in the morning and then at 10 o'clock at night and then wake up the next day and do that. I can't do that 5 days. I cannot. I will die. So I'm just offering this. I'm just offering this because people think you have to do everything. You don't have to do everything. You can, especially if you're sharing a booth, you can alter times that you guys, you can work in shifts.
Yep.
So last year was, I think 2 years ago was the first time I really did it because I know I can't do that day after day after day. But people say, well, you guys, I'm going home. I'm pooped, I'm tired, I gotta sit down. And I was able to do it for 5 days, 4 days. So that's just a suggestion. You don't have to kill yourself to try to do it, but you can do it every day if you do it to your own comfort zone.
Absolutely.
So that's
I want to
just
make
suggestion.
Know your limits, right?
a recommendation.
Absolutely.
Have you ever heard of key limes?
Key limes?
Yeah, key limes. Do you use them on a consistent basis?
No, I don't know. No, I don't
Okay,
know.
so what key limes is, so again, so matter of fact, that's some of my so 'cause that's what I mostly drink. No, it's not a supplement. No, definitely.
Tiny key limes that you make a pie with?
Yeah, but those have sugar. So what key limes is, like I heard she said that she don't have the energy. So this is key limes and oranges, and what it does is so. Don't believe nothing I say, you can check it out. And what key limes does is I could turn off all these lights in here. I can light this whole room up.
It's
So-
not energy, it's just physically straining. It's not that I don't have the energy, it's physically straining. Because I can go all day. So it's not that I don't have the energy. You know, my knees, my this, my that, I can't do that.
Okay.
Okay, so next
Put them to
one.
It's sitting up and putting down and up and.
That's key limes and apples.
So if there's any of you who are in need of lines of credit, but you need to have at least 4,500 in sales, then you're qualified to apply for any of these, in case you need it. I use Funbox and Cabbage and PayPal Working Capital. Chapter no-nos. No competing with others, compete with yourself.
There you go.
You want me to read?
Yes, please.
Chapter standards, chapter no-nos. No competing with others, only compete with yourself. No spreading of your religion. Be an example of light. Don't violate any chapter relationships. No stealing clients. If good, you will get referrals. No discrimination. Don't use medical terms which are owned by the American Medical Association. Don't discourage clients from taking their meds. Check your ego. You can't save everyone. You may need to refer to someone else.
Good. Like that.
Is that thorough enough?
Yeah.
I may need to add some, so
something
let
I
me
would
know.
change is instead of be, you are the light.
Okay.
You are the light.
Okay. Gotcha.
Don't forget the disclaimer.
Oh,
So
yeah,
disclaimer, Mama. We have no substitute medical, thank you.
Yeah, disclaimer.
Okay, I have to add that. Okay, so anyway, this is, guess what? Pretty much at the end now. So this is what I want to see. This is our next scheduled meeting, Labor Day. Is that gonna work, or are you doing powwow for 7th? September 7th?
I don't know yet. I'll check.
Okay. So I would love any kind of suggestion for guest speakers. Anybody want a demo? Like, now is the time to let me know who's interested in what and who I should try to bring in for the next chapter meeting. We've been talking about doing an annual conference. Should we just do it for practitioners conference, or should we make it available to the whole general public? Doing a wellness festival. We need to set a date for the practitioners exchange, which is a day where we come and we work on each other for free. Right? You do my back, I do your feet, or you do foot detox or whatever. We're responsible for keeping each other well, not the hospital, we are. Okay? And consider having a wellness retreat at Lutrella Space. Okay? That's the end of my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right.
So I went over by like how many hours? It's 1:30. It's supposed to be. We're supposed to.
Who's up next?
Let's see what we need to do here. I think next is there's supposed to be Dr. Derek. Dr. Derek, you want to go first or you want to just wait?
Ready for me, I'm here.
You want to go first, Mom? Get up here, girl. You need the space because I could just move my laptop out.
No, leave laptop.
Leave it there? Okay. Company Neferkara. And take these off, my glasses are broke. Her bio reads, how would you like to feel more bright, vibrant and energized, look younger, transform your dreams into reality, transform family and personal traumas into healing opportunities, create an understanding of what your body and food are trying to tell you, create a more tranquil home and workspace that is also toxic free. Peace and blessing, my name is Neferkara. I have been a licensed clinical social worker for 40 years. My background has included working as a school social worker for the New York Public School System in the Bronx while maintaining a holistic private practice with children, adults, couples, and families. I implement a variety of traditional holistic approaches. My professional training includes an undergraduate degree in psychology at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, 1979. Plus a master's degree in social work at Hunter College, 1981. I'm also a certified hypnotherapist, a play therapist, and Polarity, which is energy-based healing system that includes reflexology, cranial, sacral, dream interpretations. Is that nutrition or nutrition?
Yeah, nutrition,
Nutrition, okay,
etc.
etc. Reiki, pranic healing, neuro-linguistic program, which is talked about the NLP. I also have been trained in aromatherapy, naturopath, crystal work, sound therapy, and Queen of Ford's Sacred Woman program. I also studied at Kemetic History, Metu Neter, an African martial arts called Kupagani Ngumi. The training for these holistic techniques were by experts in the holistic community such as Dr. Africa, Dr. John
Billion. That's with Polarity.
with Polarity, and Reverend Phil Valentine, Infundisi, Jehuti Mes, Jeff Noble, Dawson Church, and other trainers through the Open Center in New York. I have also traveled through various countries in Africa, Europe, Asia, and the Caribbean, and Canada, across the United States. I have always felt it crucial to travel and study in a diversity of places in order to be more culturally sensitive to the people you are working with. I provide experiential and didactic presentations, consultations, environmental assessments for corporations, community organizations, spiritual organizations, rites of passage. I also provide individual, couple, family sessions implementing a combination of techniques from my traditional clinical and holistic training. I also infuse aspects of cultural awareness, raw food, vegan food preparation, making your own natural deodorant, facial stringent hair and body oils, conscious shopping demonstrations, and instructions, plus transforming your home to be a green, people-friendly, as well as be your own personal oasis. I only use natural-based companies in my practice, such as Young Living, Shaklee, natural-based supplements, household cleaners, and personal hygiene products, as well as alkaline water machines. I share my story above, and it is related to my role in serving our village as a people who is equipped to support those who are inspired to create a new life map. I am the translator for what the interactions of your mind, body, and soul are trying to communicate to you through disease, the food you crave, challenges in relationship with family members, partners, children, friends, and coworkers. My diverse background allows me to help guide you through the obstacles between you living life, to driving and flourishing in your life to its fullest potential. Give yourself the gift of growing into the greatest you. I may be contacted, blah, blah, blah. So let's welcome. Thank you. Sister Neferkara.
Tap, peace and blessings to everyone.
Last year when I was here, I realized that as much as I thought everybody knew what I did, that I realized nobody really understood what I did, including myself. In our chapter, we do a lot of holistic work, such as reflexology, massages, aromatherapy, energy work, and what have you. What makes me different, which it was brought up one time by a new member who was here last year, when she said, you know, all of this brings up a lot of emotions, a lot of issues, and then what are you supposed to do with it? And she said it would be nice if we had a therapist in the chapter to address it. And I was like, yeah, wouldn't that be nice? And then somebody brought to my attention, because I've been a social worker for 40 years, and it's become second nature to me. So a lot of times I forget that, oh, that's true, not everybody does that. What makes me different is that, as you notice, when you're doing somebody's feet or when you're doing their body or whatever, it'll bring up a lot of issues. And then everybody's trying to wing it like, okay, so they have broken down and cried, or they're having a flashback of some trauma, or whatever's going on, and what to do. I'm your person. One of the challenges, which I tell everybody, is that a lot of times when it comes up for you, and you're going through a training, you can't just pack it back in a bag and bring it to your therapist. For two reasons. First of all, you can't just put a pause on something. But second of all, most therapists don't have a whole lot of holistic training. So when you go to them, it's like, tell me about your parents, tell me about your background, and they have this nice little conversation, like forever. Some of them have learned some little handy-dandy, but it still has a lot to do with just your mind and your emotion. There's a very strong, as you all know, connection between what's going on in your mind and what's going on in your body. But we have learned to be so disconnected that most of the time we're just trying to shut up our body, we don't want to hear it, and a lot of us going on emotionally is tuned into your body as well. When I was at the street festival, when I would do reflexology, my clients would even say, this is really different than what I'm used to, because as I'm working on their feet and stuff, I can tell, wow, there's a lot of grieving coming on from the temperament, there's a lot of, feminine, there's a lot of anger, something. And I'll start asking them questions, and it ends up becoming like a little mini therapy session. But because you start from connecting the body to the emotions and the mind, you get into a lot faster, and able to move through it in a lot deeper form. I share this because I came to realize in talking to everybody that not everybody was aware of these different components. Down from the fact, which is why I put in there, I'll ask people, for example, what's your favorite snack food? Because everybody tells, well, I eat healthy. Everybody eats healthy, right? Everybody here eats healthy, right?
No.
And I'll ask them, oh, you'd be amazed if somebody comes to you and they're doing reflexology and everything, and you say, how's your diet? Oh, I eat real good. It's like, oh, okay, so what's your favorite snack food? Because they're expecting, oh, what do you eat for breakfast? No, what's your favorite snack food? From your snack food, you could tell, is that person angry or taking care of everybody but themselves? Going through something that's taken the sweetness out of life? They're not happy with themselves? And even though it's a basic question, with the proper training and background, it starts a whole conversation, because then they think you're psychic. Like, how did you know I was mad? How did you know so-and-so? Because then I'll start asking them questions, so what's going on with your job and your household? Yeah, you're not too happy with that either. No, like, how'd you know that? Yeah. As you're doing, there's different ways to be doing body work. As I said, mine is based on polarity, but it's more on energy. And energy is something that permeates all of us. And you can tell where there are blockages. You can tell where it's angry, where it's kind of thin, all different types of temperaments. But when I do it, it's also now connected to what's going on with them psychodynamically, which is a big word for saying, tying in what's going on with you emotionally, physically, but also how does it connect to your story? Because a lot of times you don't realize a lot of the challenges we're having has gone from generation to generation.
Yes, yes.
You know, a lot of times we don't even know the traumas because, you know, if there was sex abuse or daddy was out of his mind and just tore you up one time too many, up in jail. A lot of these stories, I know even in my family, they swear I have a big mouth because to me it's like if the following generations don't know what happened in our story, they're still reacting to it. But the key to being freed is to know so that you can address it. When I work with people, most of them don't know because I know in my generation it's like you don't air your dirty language, your laundry, you know, that's none of your business, that's grown folk stuff. So my job is to help unearth that. Because if it's not unearthed, you know, you feel good for the moment, but then it starts creeping back because it's only been treating the symptoms, not the actual cause. So a lot of times when I'm doing it, is to begin to get those patterns and then to give the tools, but also to help share the tools so it's not like you have to come and see me for therapy for the next 20 years of your life, because unless you're talking to me, it's not working. To help give you the tools so you become mindful. You know, like for example, I always know when I'm stressed because chocolate is a nurturing food for, especially for women, because it also addresses certain deficiencies in your body. Anytime Snickers bars are my friends, and I'm having a hard time telling them to, you know, like, not today, I know it's time for Spa Castle or window shopping, some type of nurturing me, because that means that I have been taking care of everybody and their pet hamster but me. And I teach that when I work with people so that they begin to learn and become empowered.
Maybe what you need to do is give each of us a supply of your business cards. So when we finish working on our clients, you say,
Exactly.
you need a follow-up appointment with Mootsmer. Please call her anytime it's convenient, and you handle stuff we don't know how to handle.
There you go.
I'm serious. I'm very serious.
No, I can do that. I have some pamphlets. You'll notice that there's some updates on it because it's been a while. For the past few years, I had to be, I was caregiving within the family, you know, between senior care and other types of family with health issues. I was in semi-retirement. But at this point, I'm regrouping. So I'm going to pass out some pamphlets. It doesn't have everything that I wrote in the update. It was as I was writing the update, I realized, wow, I've learned a lot since I last did. I think that's the other thing that's crucial. Anytime any of us think we've learned it all, we are now behind. They will tell you, I am a training junkie. Every time I hear of something that's going to help enhance and make even deeper what I do, I am there. We just came back from Philadelphia doing that because they had a training that was similar to psychodynamics, psychodrama, but it was more structured where it connects how you do different parts of your brain. And to me, all these different type of disciplines complement each other. Because as Ramin was saying before, back in the ancient times, which they try to, you know, pretend we were aliens or something, we had this whole black print.
Yes, we did.
And unfortunately, all those components have been taken out of our communities at times. And a lot of times when I go for these trainings, you know, it's like the representative. Everybody else is learning our stuff. We've been taught, oh, that's evil, that's negative, oh, you know. But a lot of it is that when it comes to astrology, numerology, a lot of the energy work we do as the herbs and what have you, we're the feminine energy of healing. Not women, feminine energy. And because this is a male dominant insanity, only the masculine energy was validated. And learning the other parts is what complements it. So it's exactly, so it's not like, well, medicine is evil for everything. If I break my bone, I'm going to the hospital. But instead of their painkillers, yes, whenever I was there, they would swear us when to scream for medication. I would tell my sister, bring me a nice picture of a waterfall, because that's my thing. And I would just visualize, I was there, do a little self-hypnosis, and I was good to go. I was in my little nirvana. Somebody pissed me off at the school. I had Dunn's River as my screensaver, and me and whatever little estudiante I had, it was not feeling too well either. we were at Dunn's River Falls. I would have the djembes at the schools, because I also learned that our kids don't need Ritalin. The sacred geometry of beating on the drums, they had never had lessons in their lives. And they would just start beating in a certain rhythm. It would help them to come together. It would help them to calm down. They would start telling me all their secrets without even knowing it. But I also learned that even with adults, all these different modalities are crucial. So during this journey, as we all grow together, my job is to continue to grow and to continue to support whatever you all are doing. So whenever you have a client where it's like, okay, so I've taken him this far, but he seems to, or they seem to keep coming back and they're not, you know, as she said, I'm your person. Because from the clinical side that I've had, it helps to give me the tools that help to complement the other holistic that we do. I know I have a short period of time, so if anybody has questions for me, you know, I'll be here the whole time, snacking and everything else. So feel free
Was
to
your
ask
card in the
me.
handouts that Shai gave?
No. No, but I do have, as I said, my updated, as I said, so I'm gonna
Yes.
hand these out. If I run out, I do have some cards.
Can you
But
talk
this-
about the Beamer?
Oh, okay. There's this mat called the Beamer that has this electromagnetic frequency in it that, in having the, let me backtrack for a minute. Anybody here have a cell phone? Anybody here use a laptop? Anybody here walk around and see towers all over the place? Those towers, you know, for the, anybody here don't tend to be out a lot during this, you know, winter days because it's cold, or by the time you get out from work, you're a mole person, and you, anybody here get at least an hour of sun outside?
At least an hour, yeah.
At least an hour a day, without glasses on, without your hat on, so that you get something. Anybody here walk around on dirt roads bare feet?
Grounded.
Right, dirt roads, right? Pelham Park, they got some dirt, right? The reason I ask you these things is that our body has its own natural electromagnetic frequency, which is like the rhythm that we all function on. Anybody here of your body having organs? Organs, you know, like your stomach, your liver, your spleen, and, you know, have a thyroid, pineal. They're called organs. Anybody who's taken Dr. Africa, at least back in the day, will know they're called organs because each of those parts have their own frequency.
Cells.
Individually.
Cells.
Exactly. But they all are in sync with each other.
Interconnected.
They create like an orchestra.
Yeah, the same thing that you're talking about is based on the corona disease too. That's exactly what it is.
Well, any dis-ease.
Disconnected.
Dis-ease means disharmony,
Yeah.
which means that your orchestra is out of tune.
Balance.
Somebody or a bunch of bodies are playing out of tune. The electromagnetic frequencies of the Beamer mat is designed to help rebalance the frequencies within your body.
It's also called psycho meditation.
Right.
I do it almost on a
Right.
daily thing.
Because your brain is consisted of, is a whole bunch of nerves. It's a nervous system.
Nervous system,
And it's
yeah.
your nervous system that transports the frequencies. So when you talk about a mental meditation, it's really that also is part of the orchestra, and it needs to be rebalanced. What the Beamer does is that the frequency of that helps to rebalance. For example, anybody ever see a tuning fork? I meant to bring one.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
Right. When you hit them together, they resonate. There's another thing called a harmonic, which means when you hit it, any other tuning forks that is at that same frequency will also start to resonate. So the concept behind the Beamer is that as it's going at the frequency you're supposed to be, the rhythm, you know, when we're dancing, and you can tell the other folks who just kind of dancing, and, you know, and you know, we're all dancing around, they're trying to get it. Well, with the Beamer, it helps the rest of those that are going like this to get it, so everybody's now kind of doing the same dance. why that's helpful is that, you know how they tell you how being around the computers too much or the phones too much and everything interferes with your sleep, stresses out your adrenals and everything else. The way the Beamer mat is designed, it rebalances that so that you can sleep better, so it reharmonizes, you know, your heart, your liver, and everything else. That is something that Zakia and I, you know, recently went for training for. And we were saying it's really good for people who are doing reflexology or any type of body work, because you can put the mat underneath your, so that which would make you one step above general people, because while they're just having their feet did, you're doing a whole body thing. Now the one thing though is that it's a very subtle, because you know we're used to like, you know, you're used to like, oh yeah, I felt something, I felt this buzz, I felt this. But you know, when you're doing with electromagnetic frequency, if you felt it, that's like you putting your finger in the socket. Oh yeah, I felt that. Some things in life, like homeopathic medicine, is subtle, but it's effective. So with the Beamer, it's not something that's going to change their life in one session, but it starts the conversation. You know, they have little videos that, like we do with Dr. Africa, you could play the video about the Beamer. So as they're doing it, it shows you how it improves circulation. Because how it does that is that in your circulatory system, you have, you know, smaller and smaller and smaller capillaries, and it's transporting your blood. Now, because we all do eat so well, and do so, you know, and Tai Chi every day and everything else, our blood goes on strike and starts getting really sticky and starts clotting. You know, nobody knows anybody with high blood pressure or sugar or anything, right? And rebalancing it, it helps to heal the blood cells on a micro level. So instead of it being stuck and getting all acquainted, it's on the move like we do, you know, like we're supposed to do, so the blood flow is better. And as you know, heart attacks, strokes, and everything else has to do with sticky blood. It starts clotting all over the place, getting backed up, and the next thing you know, there's a shutdown going on. This helps to improve the blood flow so that you're thinking clearer. And I don't know about you, but I'm still trying to age with grace. So I want my brains working for me. I want my organs working for me. I want to be working. I don't care, about, you know, however old I get to be, I want to be in full capacity as best I can. At night, I sleep on the Beamer. They have a sleeping program. They also have different ones during the day that, depending on what's going on with you, it depends how you program it. This is, they have certain little extra attachments. My favorite, because I'm rather vain, is they have one that you use on your face. It has like the infrared, which helps with wrinkles and stuff. And as I said, since I'm really trying to age with grace here, you know, black don't crack, but any help you can get to it, so that helps with it. They have another one, so if Arthur's, you know, really bothering your knee or your elbow or something, they have another one as a different type of frequency that helps with that. So it's a nice way to do that. Yes, my dear.
So are these all part attachments for the Beamer?
Yes,
You're speaking of?
yes, yes. Because the Beamer, the mat is connected to this computer. So even millennials will like that because it's computerized.
It's got the mattress you can sit on in the car too.
Right, they have a mat for the car and one that you can sit in a chair and things.
So it has the little chips of amethyst in it? Is that how it's made?
No, it has coils in it.
Oh.
And the coils through the computer have the different electromagnetic frequencies.
Like, similar to light relief. Similar to light relief. I have light relief as a diet, as like, you never heard of light relief?
No, but so that they know.
Oh, light relief, is actually something that was brought up by, that was designed by NASA. It's using these light, infrared and the good lights. That's good for the body. It's like dial, I can pronounce it properly.
The diatoms.
Like LED lights.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You put on any part of your body that's discomfort.
Right.
And you use it overnight, and when you wake up in the morning, let's say you have lower back problems. All right. you use it at night, it has a time, it sits under the timer, the little button that lights up. You can also have built-in heat, if you want to put the button up for heat. And it works on the area of discomfort, but when you wake up in the morning, you have no pain.
Now that's a compliment to the Beamer,
It's a
because,
compliment,
because that's using light therapy,
Light therapy, right.
which is a little
I
different.
combine it with my musical,
Sounds.
Right.
well,
But that's what-
meditation sounds.
Right,
vibrations.
but that's what I'm saying, is that there's a diversity of things there,
Mm.
because what you're talking about is sound therapy with the beats and stuff, because
Mm.
the frequencies from the
Megahertz,
sound.
I'm talking about
Right,
megahertz,
right,
yeah.
but that's what sound is made from, is megahertz.
Right, they combine
And the
it
different,
together.
and the different frequencies stimulate different parts of your brain. So that's a complement type of therapy. The Beamer has to do really more with your whole body.
Right.
And as I said, rebalancing it by improving the blood flow. Because if your blood is sticky and backed up and stuff,
Mm.
nothing else is going to
Won't
work
work, exactly.
because you're having a traffic jam within your body. As you're doing this, those things help to enhance it.
Mhm.
Because yes, it's like when Ramen started our libation with the singing bowl. The vibrations of the singing bowl, everybody who was here would have like this relaxing moment, because the way it's resonating within your body is helping to rebalance it. So that's, as you pointed out, there's a lot of different modalities. The Beamer is one. The use of how we use crystals. Like for example, when I do assessments with people, depending on what's going on, they may need an amethyst, or they may need something, a moldavite, they may need something very basic or something very exotic. But also, depending on what's going on with you, which is why I also learned how to make crystal jewelry, is that you may need to have it hanging by your, by your chest, your throat chakra. You may need it lower, you may need it on your wrist, you may need it as an anklet. And in the past, I used to tell people, well, if you go to, and tell them different stores. But now I, collected all of it, because also you need to have the right quality of crystals. You need to have the right quality of essential oils. Because a lot of times I said, yeah, I got my essential oil, down at Peabody's. And yeah, and when you smell it, you can smell that it's got something else in it. So I always tell people all the time also, you have to look at quality. Because if you're doing something just to make it smell nice, that's one thing. But if you're trying to do it medicinally, it's important. When you use supplements, that's why if you notice when she said, I use the Shaklee, because those are natural based. You can tell, because they have on TV now, they tell everything is natural. There's a big difference between natural based and organic. Horse manure is natural. But I don't know about you, I ain't eat that. One of the ways you can tell is, because I know like Centrum and some of them now, it's like, put it in water. If it doesn't break down within about 10 or 15 minutes, and some of them don't even break down in a day or two, it's not breaking down in your body. Because they know we look at, it looks good, it's shiny, it's small, so I can swallow it. When it's small and shiny, it usually means it's covered with shellac or something else that's toxic. That's why it don't break down. And then it's put together with tar or other little sticky stuff to keep it together, which is why you just letting it pass through you if it don't make you sick. So again, looking at ingredients, reading ingredients, and making sure you use reputable companies are very important. Because as a people, since we're always trying to pay bills and stuff, we're always trying to find a shortcut. But we only have one body, one temple, and a lot of us will spend millions of dollars on our little fingernails, using formaldehyde to make them look good, put on everybody else's hair, because we've been taught that our hair ain't pretty, instead of being proud of our natural and the coil of our hair, and how that is, they actually do that on purpose because they know the coil connects you to being grounded and to the information from above. And the more they can shut us down, the more they're in control, like you see in the Nazis.
And we
now.
dysfunction.
I handed out the, okay, good. You can see I need more blood flow.
I have a question for you. Where did you study NLP at?
With Jeff Noble, that was one of the trainers who also does pranic healing. Jeff Noble trained with Bandler, who is one of the founders of NLP.
That's where I went to in Florida.
Right.
Yeah. Him and
If-
Granda,
Right.
Yeah.
In Florida, how many people did you have in your?
2,500.
Right. With Jeff Noble, we had 23.
Online or
No, in person.
Okay.
In person, we met with him like once a month for like 6 or 9 months, something like that. And he would show, you know, because he, as I said, he trained with him. But between him being an African American, so he knows our culture, but also in keeping it small, you get to practice with each other. We would also practice in between classes, so we would get a lot. And we would have more one-on-one in terms of questions, in terms of him supervising and giving us feedback. Like, yeah, that's real cute, but that's not exactly how you do it. And if we got into a problem, you know, in terms of somebody going too deep or what have you, he would be right there to give feedback. So I was originally thinking of doing that.
Yeah, it's like 3,500 for 2
Right.
weeks.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Whereas,
definitely powerful.
whereas with his, you pay that, but you have 9 months, and it's a
Okay.
more intensive.
Okay.
And as I said, he's one of Bandler's proteges. So I encourage everybody, including ones who have done that, to still study with him. Because I know people have, oh, I did it online. Oh, I, you know, was on this massive. I have been to massive ones, and I've been to smaller ones. And I have learned much more in the smaller ones because it is more hands-on. It is more direct. There's no way Richard Bandler's going to be able to watch all of you.
But it was like 10 people. So again, if it's 2,500, everybody take on a certain amount of what you said. So instead of information, everybody's practicing among each other.
Among themselves.
No, among each other. So say for instance, he got trauma, he got heart problems. So everybody's practicing working on goals.
Oh, no, I get
collectively.
that. But how well can Richard Bandler supervise all those people
Yeah,
to
what I'm saying
fine-tune?
is,
how
it
they
wasn't
do?
just him. So it was like 10 different teachers.
Yeah, he's got his teachers.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. In this way, it's like having one of those where you're just having it intimately like that.
Okay.
She
Yes.
has a question.
Yes.
I have a clinical question.
Mm-hmm.
So back to the emotions coming up.
Yes.
I'm a Reiki practitioner.
Yes.
I had a recent client who wants another appointment, and I've already decided not to give him this appointment.
Mm-hmm.
What happened was that on the table, he basically was having an orgasm with himself.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it was a situation where he felt like he was very, very heated, and but he didn't want it to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And I eventually just had to like shut it
Shut
down.
it down.
And I had a sage and lavender spray smudge that I sprayed around him to cool him down.
Right.
So, you know, sweeping away the energy and then tamping it down is what I had to do, and he finally
Calm down.
Load it back down from over.
And I consulted with one of my teachers, Peter Gobeck, and he says that happened to him even in group Reiki sessions.
Mhm.
That there's just one person who was like going all just like crazy. And the best thing to do is that you should shut it down. Now, I had no issues with shutting it down. He was very appreciative, et cetera, and so on. But when you talk about emotions coming out of people,
Yes.
Yeah.
that you don't like, okay,
Right.
I know I'm protected, I know I'm protected. What is this? And I noticed that I was fine. But guess how many hours I slept that night?
But, no,
10.
minutes.
Right.
10. And I haven't slept 10 hours in like, I think
Right.
the last time I did that was like 10 years ago.
But that's a good,
But I was sick.
that's a good example of, because as I said, they just said, shut it down. Just shut it down. Because it's the symptoms of something that you don't know what to do with. As you said, for me, seeing that, I would know, okay, there's a high possibility that this person had been sexually molested or violated younger. And in quieting down that energy at that same point in time, to be able to process with him.
Well, that's exactly where I went with him. And right now, he's just sent me a text wanting another appointment. And so that's why I said it's a clinical question. How do I tell him no? What would you say to him in this moment?
Well, see,
Give him
my card. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's the difference between, because I do Reiki, but that's the difference between when you're doing energy work and you're trained clinically. Because for me, I wouldn't have to refer him someplace else. Because with my training, I would know, okay, this obviously mimicked or triggered a prior.
That's right.
And to explore to see, is it something they're aware of? Because not all traumas are conscious.
That's right.
And using different strategies and techniques to help that person to process that. Because that's one of the concerns I've had with straight body, energy work and stuff, is that when you're not having the clinical part, it's like, how am I going to shut this down and then just give them a card to a therapist? But most therapists are not trained holistically. So they're like, well, tell me about your mother, tell me about whatever. And they're going to just shut down because that's not the one that created. So in that situation, you can tell them, it seems like there's a lot more going on with you than I can manage. I can give you, people that, you can follow up with to further explore what's going on.
He had been in therapies and things like that, and I just forgot that I did actually start tapping with him. I started tapping, I said, you got some other stuff, and so.
Well, that's the thing, because
I'm just gonna tell him
because that's what I'm saying. In doing that, one of the things that we need to be comfortable with also is to own when it's out of our purview and to connect them, because we feel that we don't own up to the fact that, okay, that's not my training, that they're going to feel that we're incompetent versus that they're specialists. I mean, even with doctors, if you have a heart condition and you love talking to somebody who's into your stomach and everything, that's not a good match. That doesn't mean he's not good at the stomach, but he's not a heart person. There's certain areas in psychotherapy that's not my specialty. For years I was not doing senior care. I preferred children. But now that I'm getting older and more people in my circle are getting older, I have been forced to become more in tune with senior care. My father is 90 years old, and he just know he's got it. So I had to start doing a whole lot of research and counseling and stuff to deal with him and to see that, it might not be my favorite, but that's what you.
You're now.
Right, and that's why I say as you grow, as you go along, you grow in different ways. But the important part is when it's out of your league. Like there's certain things that I know is not mine, but within my team, I might know, okay, you need the kid to learn about the herbs or something, or you may need to see Roman for iridology because something's going on. I know a little bit about iridology, but you need a master. You need to do, oh, you need to see Jeff because I know NLP, but the level you're at, you need some, some turbo NLP. So part of it is knowing who's within our circle and outside of our circle, which is why we have these meetings, because no one is an expert on everything.
So that's why I brought it up.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. But to be able to give them tools, it says, I've taken you as far as I can. However, I know this brother or sister who that's what they do. That's their specialty. That's whatever. To give them a few. And to even see, do you want me to call ahead and check with them? A lot of times it's helpful to call whoever you're referring the person to give them a backdrop. This is what I was doing. This is how, is that somebody that you would, be. So that way you're not sending referrals and that person's like, I ain't doing that either. So always to check, and teachers and stuff.
Is in one of his books about that? I'd like to read up.
Yes, and his holistic, African holistic health.
Oh, yeah. So it's in there.
Yeah, yeah, he's got a whole chart.
Okay, all right.
And I used to give it out on some of my presentations. Since this one, right, since this was an abridged one, I didn't do it for this one. But, I gave him credit for it. But I used to, especially with my students, because I was always teaching them self-awareness. So that was one of the things, because then they come and tell me, well, I must be pissed off about something. I had 3 bags of potato chips yesterday, and I still want to kick so-and-so's behind, so I was like, he's a, so something else I'm supposed to eat to calm that down. Like, yes, drink lots of alkaline water.
Hot enough.
Exactly. Any other questions or anything?
How much does that machine cost that you mentioned?
So the Beamer is, was it like 6,000 or something?
It's $6,000, but you can rent to buy. And for those of us that are practitioners, if you want to use it in your service, you can rent to buy. And so typically what we do on a promotion or a public level for practitioners, there's generally an 8-minute a day treatment. So if you have a chair,
morning and night.
morning, twice a day, you can have people come in, $20 a hit, and eventually it'll pay itself off. Or you can rent it, and then, or your family members or co-practitioners can come in and use it, pay $20 a hit. And so there's a number of ways you can do that.
Or collectively.
Or
Like if you-
collectively,
if you
combine one, have it here at the Rejuvenation Center, and $20 hit, come get your hit, and you know. So there's a number,
Yeah.
and I say hit because that's what it's like. You lay down for 8 minutes, get your hit, and you're good, and it begins to, like Sister said, it begins to clean up, rejuvenate, and recirculate your energy in your blood.
Right.
So that's the cost, but there's ways to get around it.
Can you actually
And-
feel the difference?
You
Gradually-
don't feel it, but you begin to shift. It's like a meditation.
It's a gradual progression.
It's a gradual process.
'Cause
They
that's what
say
I'm
the
saying.
first time you sleep for the first time in years, you sleep better after the first day or two. But you begin, it's like anything, you don't fix
also-
a disease
it's-
in one session.
It's also
It's a
different for each
process.
person.
And it's
because
different for each person.
Some people feel it sooner than others.
Right.
Because, you know, your makeup and my makeup, depending what we eat, how we deal with things and stuff, are going to be different. So some people are just more sensitive than others. But it tends to be a gradual type thing.
And it's also designed for animals and horses. It's also designed for athletes, and it's good because it helps recovery
healing.
from athleticism as well as heal injury. So there's many ways it can be used. There's many applications.
Yeah.
But it takes a whole class to explain it.
I was going to
and-
say, at some point, if they want, you know, we could bring one of the mats in and do like a whole, and they, you know, they have the video, so it shows you about the circulation and everything.
Right.
As I said, people can try out the mat. And I'll
Right.
bring the one that makes our skin look cute, and so you can experience it.
Right.
But again, part of the challenge we have is that we're used to like Western medicine when we get this quick fix, but it's got all the side effects because now it's poisoning your liver and straining your heart and stuff because it's too quick. Whereas when you're doing holistics, it's a slower, gradual. But think about it, that's how our body heals in general. If you give yourself a gash in your hand, it doesn't scab over and heal over and clear up all in 5 minutes, right? It's a gradual process.
Right.
So this mimics that, is a gradual process. Okay. Any other questions or anything?
Yes, I have a question. Where are you located? Do you give sessions with the Beamer? Is that something that's available?
Yes, it can be. I mean, if you want one, yes. I'm located in the Bronx. At the moment, I probably arranged to do it here.
Of course.
We've been trying to figure out how to do this.
Of course.
Neferkara and I have been trying to figure out.
If there's enough of a, you know, if people are interested in stuff, then we'll make that happen.
Yeah.
Because as she said, there's been a great pull to help me get organized. Because I says, since I just kind of lost my husband, I've been like resetting.
Sorry to hear that.
So, but that's why things like this are very healing. Because as you said, as you redefine, and as Ramen and others were saying before, all these things are natural parts of life. And as things happen, it's also an opportunity for our growth. And when we use it for growth, because in this culture, death and everything else hasn't been made to be like unnatural. Meanwhile, people are going to be born and transition throughout. And we have a choice to either learn and grow from it. Not saying you don't have your ups and downs, but you can learn and grow from it or bury yourself. And last I heard, most of our ancestors worked real hard for us to continue to grow and to nurture the next generations. So right now, as I said, things are being reorganized. And as we said, it takes a village, so in having spaces, so as she said, if there's a need for that, then yes, there's the space to do that. At some part, I'll have it set up in my apartment, but right now it's in rehab, so. Right, so, within the year, then yeah, but at the time being, that yes, there are spaces between here and then at Shai's. If there's enough people that want it in Queens or in that area, I can, it's portable, so I can do that.
I actually have made arrangements to have the only booth at the International African Arts Festival. To see if we can make that happen as well, so it can be there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We working it this year.
Yay.
I already got permission like 2-3 months ago. Yeah. We working it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I've been using the Beamer now for about a year, and I must say it's, especially when my husband passed, I usually have a hard time sleeping and stuff. And using the Beamer and stuff, it really did make a difference, to help me relax enough to do that. And in using it the twice a day and stuff, I always tell everybody, I said, it's one good thing is when you're going through something, you can blame that for whatever doesn't work right in your life. So it's like, I did tell I was grieving, right? So that's why I was messed up, But it's helped also in terms of clarity. So, which is why I said I would share it, because a lot of times we are put off by price and what have you, but as Zakia had shared, when we work collectively, exactly, just like we have a susu for whoever and whatever, we could do a donation to have one for the chapter.
Yeah.
Where everybody, can borrow it at different times or, come, whatever. And then one of the things is when you buy a Beamer, because one of the reasons it's expensive, which is the one part I am challenged with, is that it is like network marketing. So if you sell one, the commission you get helps to really offset it rather quickly. So.
And the commission is $1,000.
So that's about 16%? 16%.
So if you sell like 5 of them, you've paid for your Beamer. And since all of us know different circles and have different circles of wellness, because even like if you work, in a doctor's office or a dentist's office or whoever's office, and you share that with them, and they buy one, that's another $1,000 for you to either save towards your own that you've been renting or something, or however you want to do it. So there's a lot of ways for us to work these things. The important thing, though, is that we, as a holistic chapter, learn how to bring wellness to our communities. Because when you want something, as I said, I've had people tell me they can't go buy organic celery, but they got money for their extensions on their fingernails that's poisoning their system. They got, hair weaves are not cheap, so all these things that are tearing us down, we got money for. I've also learned, I don't tell people things like, oh, that's healthy for you. Oh, well, that means it's going to taste nasty, feel nasty, or be nasty, and I don't want it. But if I say, this is going to give you energy, this is going to make you look like you're 25 again. This is going to make your knees feel like, you could play football again. Oh, it's all in mindset and presentation. So that's why I say part of it also is doing presentations to lift awareness in our community. The fact that that we have become consumers of all the toxic crap that nobody else wants. And if you rewind back to enslaved times, we've glorified that. Yeah, the pig snout, pig's feet, the brains, chitlins, all the things that we were forced to eat when we were property, when we were commodity, we have now glorified. And even though I'm into making lemonade out of lemons, If it's feces, it's feces, and it needs to be composting your crop or something. It's not something we're supposed to consume. Be it food that we eat, be it how we present ourselves, how we see ourselves. Our natural hair is beautiful, no matter what it looks like. You don't see anybody else trying to imitate our hair, but we try to imitate everybody else's hair. And then when it starts breaking off, and you know how the edges start falling off, and we start, you know, having receding and stuff because that hair weave was one time too many or something, rather than embracing the fact that we're all beautiful in our own way. And it's not against anybody, but it's for us. You know, one of the biggest challenges I had working in the school system is you'd have a second grader with a hair weave bigger than she is, and, oh, I know, I'm cute now, but without the hair weave, you're not cute. Where they're on Ritalin and drinking blue juice. And I'm teaching them, well, if you had designer water, which is a code name for filtered water, you know, your brain wouldn't be feeling like molasses. But now that you gave it a fancy name, they're all fighting to come to my office for their designer water. You know, so again, it's educating, teaching people to read ingredients of whatever you're buying, not the propaganda on the container. Oh, it's all natural. All natural what? Well, it said all natural. Well, horse manure is all natural. You would do that? Exactly. What is on the ingredients? And if you can't read the ingredients because it's too small, means it has.
Don't take it.
Don't take it, because that means they don't want you to know. And if they don't want you to know, you shouldn't be taking it. So as we said, education is freedom. And one of my commitments is to help educate. As we say, each one teach one. And I appreciate all that I learned from all of you. And I'm just offering whatever I can to help in that process of being educated and enlightened. So I thank you all.
That's good.
Make sure we get your referral card.
So I guess we're
Oh,
gonna.
So we give him out.
Oh, I gotta make cards to give. Okay.
Okay, so I guess we'll take a break. We're gonna get Dr. Derek. I call him that. That's
Yes,
what
yes,
I call
yes.
him. Dr. Derek can get himself set up. Y'all can get your little breaks in, go to the bathroom, eat.
With an academic high school diploma, associate's degree from Queensborough College, majored in performing arts, bachelor arts, degree from Brooklyn College in film production, and mirrored in business management and marketing, and a master's from New York IT. Author, Marketing Mogul Manual, Improve Your Marketing Brand, February 2012, and author, I Built It, But They Ain't Coming. The Marketing Mogul's Manual on How to Pursue, Date, Engage Your Customer, April 2014. Opportunity Knocked Next Door, My American Dream Becoming a Successful Man, August 2019. Derek M. Guest, presenter for the Video Expo in Washington, D.C. Workshop entitled, That's My Story, and I'm Sticking to It, December 2014. Presenter for Project Enterprise Entrepreneur Week, A Taste of PE, I Built It, But They Ain't Coming. December 2012, guest speaker, Black Business Works Inc., Harlem Social Media Marketing Made Simple, December 2012, Empowerment Network, TEN, Take Time Out Tuesday, June 2012, New York Expo Video Marketing Expert for Console Contact, May 2012, guest panelist on Soul Brother at Monroe College entitled Leveraging Social Media in Marketplace, May 2012, guest panelist for the Harlem Business Success Forum with Barbara Conaran, whose business success in the face of adversity, May 2012. In the Black Successful Strategies, Motivations, and Tools for Entrepreneurs guest, panelists for Entrepreneur Week 2012. May we present our presenter, Derek M. Guest. Wow. You need some water after that? What?
That's a lot.
Yes, it is.
Wow. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I said good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Right? This is a home and group of spiritual people. So you understand about energy. We talk about energy a lot, right? And so I'm also a person about energy. I have, for those who know me outside of speaking and teaching, I have an alternate ego, sort of like Beyonce, right? Right? So when I'm up here, I'm Sasha Fierce, right? So my energy is totally different. My wife will tell you, she's right there. My queen,
Oh, she's busy.
wave your hand. That's Eula Guest right there. My partner in life and in business will tell you I am totally a different person when I'm sitting in the crowd like you guys. I'm a totally different guy, very reserved, quiet. But once I get up here, it's time to turn it on. So I need the same energy from you that I'm giving back to you, right? So as the brother so eloquently introduced me, my name is Derek M. Guest. My business and background is in content marketing. And some of you will, as Sister Shania has also brought me here, I want to help you do some of the things that you're doing with your business and whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Because our people, when we have tried to communicate, or when we communicate, just like back in slavery times, we communicated with music, we communicated when we wanted others like us to know what was going on. That's how we communicate. We sing songs or different things of that nature so others can know what's going on. So if you're in a small business, you need other people to know what's going on with you. Because if I don't know, then it goes to, like my other book is, which is if I built it, they ain't coming, it's because they're not coming because they don't know. Right? It's your job to make them know. When you're going out to these different, vendor and different events that you want people to know about what you're doing, you have to build that community that is in tune or interested in what it is that you do, right? Because only you can do uniquely what it is that you do, right? There's a whole lot of people do things that's similar, right? But only you can do what you do. So it's about you communicating that to others who are interested. This second book that I wrote is about my life growing up in the South Bronx, over in the area of Yankee Stadium, Washington Projects. I don't know if anybody knows that area. Yeah, right? So in the 80s and 90s, it's a little bit better now. It's coming up a little bit. You know, they're kind of building the area up. But when I grew up there, it was a pretty tough neighborhood.